Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, back with your bonus weekly replay video featuring the Tier 10 French tech line heavy cruiser, the Henri IV, or Henri IV. Some people shout at me to say it the first way, some people shout at me to say it the second way. Whatever, the Tier 10 French funny boat. Today being piloted by Rex. Now, if you will take a gander at the bottom right portion of your screen, you'll see that Rex here is running Lighthouse Henry, which is a very bold decision in 2024. What do I mean by a lighthouse build? Well, a lighthouse build is when you put every single thing on your ship that can possibly raise its detection range. Oftentimes, either modules or commander skills that raise your detection range will boost the performance of your ship in some way, shape, or form. And then you throw other stuff onto your build that, I can't remember what the name of the skill is, but it's the skill that when you're detected, or when a ship's in your, detection range, you get a boost to your reload time. That's what Rex has done here with his Henri. Now, the Henri has 240mm guns that already had a pretty good reload time on top of having the reload booster, so I suspect that his reload will be more akin to that of a light cruiser than a heavy cruiser, but we shall see. Now, this is also a live reaction replay, so I am watching this replay for you guys with the vanilla eyes, if you will. I'm watching it for the first time with you guys. So anything that happens in here, you guys are getting my genuine live reaction to it. So he is over here on the eastern side of the map. Oh, he does have the unique upgrade. He didn't send me his commander skill build, but he did tell me that he has the unique upgrade on the Henri. So I know for sure he's got the unique upgrade, which is a 10% range buff. No, a 5% range buff and a 10% buff to the reload time, the main battery guns. There's the first skill, what's that? Fearless Brawler. Top grade gunner, where he has another 8% buff to his reload time. What's his reload time right now? So he has a 9.5 second reload time right now already. So a sub 10 second reload time on his Henri IV. So he's probably got, of course, adrenaline rush and such, as I'm sure we're about to see here, because it's like there are some shots coming in from the eastern side of the map. And wow, those must be some American battleship shells, because I had time to say like 2 or 3 sentences before they got here. Yeah. Alright, so on this map, typically you'll have the northern spawn and the southern spawn teams. They'll meet over here on this little eastern corner by this island, and typically you either stare at each other or do what they're doing right now, take some pot shots at one another. And yep, he has adrenaline rush as well. And typically, I won't say that every time whoever wins this flank wins the game, but that tends to be how it goes. This is a submarine game. Thankfully, no CVs. What is this? Mostly tier 10 and tier 9? Yeah, it's tier 10, tier 9 with poor Cleveland and a Megami. They got sucked up into the matchmaking here. Published hydroacoustic search to have a heads up about any torpedoes heading his way. What do we have for destroyers? A Holland and a Johnston. Ooh, Megami out there. Colbert takes out the Cleveland. Poor tier 8 fella. I am working on a completely free-to-play grind up the American battleship line right now, and I feel that Cleveland's pain more than anything right now. Alright, so shots out on the Megami. Looks like he gets a couple of pins for 3,700 damage. He has a broadside Napoli right in front of him at 10 kilometers that I would definitely be looking at. Alright, so he popped his engine boost, and this is the Henry's thing. Right? It used to be its thing back in the day. Still kind of his thing today. Use the engine boost, and you just be hella annoying to the enemy team. Back in the day, Henri had a quicker acceleration and deceleration rate to where you could literally be sitting about 13 kilometers away from most ships and just scoot back and forth and force them to miss most of their shots. They did nerf the Henry's acceleration. They gave it battleship acceleration like 3 years ago, but then I think last year they cut the acceleration time in half to where it's much better than it was after they nerfed it, but it's not quite back to old Henri levels. But with a speed boost, she can still dance around quite a bit. Pops his main battery reload booster. I'm assuming that's because the Thunderer damage con. I didn't see if he did, but I'm assuming that is why. There's one fire on the Thunderer. Very ironic here. Friendly team loses another ship. They lose their destroyer, so now they're down to 1 destroyer already, which is really unfortunate. But it looks like RNG does not like Rex, and he does not give him any more fires on the Thunder. He's already up to 66,000 damage so far, so he's doing pretty good. And looks like down, eats some shots there from the GK, but French armor does its thing and allows Rex to walk away with minor damage. That's the other thing about the Henri IV. It's like the, just the absolute pinnacle of the French black hole armor. I don't know what it is about the French armor scheme, but you'll be broadside to a battleship and they'll have you dead to rights. They'll shoot you and it's just all torpedo protection hits or gets eaten by the armor. And you might eat a pretty good chunk of damage, but you don't get deleted like you should have been. So, yeah. But at the same time, too, you'll get shot on like the propeller and then you lose half of your HP because reasons. Look at the Megami. Yep, it's going to get taken out there by that Schlieffen salvo. But that Schlieffen is getting absolutely melted down by the Thunder, the Napoli, and the GK. So he's not going to be around for too much longer. But as far as the first 5 minutes have gone, pretty even trade so far. As we all know, so often now do games get decided in the first 5 minutes by one team absolutely losing all their destroyers or their submarines or anything that could provide any sort of spotting for them. But looks like here it's been, again, pretty even so far, which is a pretty good indicator of the quality of the game. Napoli tries to AP the broadside, well, not the broadside, the side of Rex's Henri, because he is angled slightly outward, which allowed him to not really care too much about those Napoli shells. Gets one less fire on the Thunder and one fire on the Napoli here. Pops his heel. Let's see what Napoli does this time. Yeah, nothing too bad. Looks like the GK got some shells in there too, but they did bounce. Looks like the Pommern of all ships is capping the C cap, and the enemy team does have the B cap, although the friendly submarine is in the B cap, but he is submerged as he is not capping at this moment. Yeah, Pommern just got spotted. The Schlieffen can see him. Schlieffen's still pretty low. That's my Discord, not yours. So I think Schlieffen is about to get chewed on here by the Pommern secondaries, and given that the Schlieffen does not have the normal battleship armor at this tier, the Pommern can very well chew right on through the Schlieffen. But it looks like the Pommern is focusing on Rex's Henri. Ooh, fire there on the GK along with 6 pins. And the GK secondaries are getting on him too. He's about to get a wonderful income to his potential damage there. Another good hit on the GK with the HE. Now, the Henri's AP is quite good, and if you have something broadside to you, you definitely want to use it. But of course, when you're dealing with, an angled GK, you don't really want to be using AP on that, except maybe, chunking the superstructure. But he's gotten pretty lucky here with the fire damage on the GK so far, so why not continue it? Speaking of fires, there's a fire on his ship. He has, of course, the cruiser burn time, which all battleship players are incredibly jealous of, so it's not too much of an issue. That broadside Napoli, though, oof. Another fire on the GK, so that's 2 fires on the GK. I'm guessing the GK does not have his damage count available, because he probably should have popped it by now. Or he probably would have popped it by now. Looks like the Schlieffen did get some torps out on the GK, so that might be the end of the GK here. There's Witherer before the 10-minute mark, and the friendly Schlieffen does go down to the Pommern, but ooh, GK probably had his Hydra up and saw those torps coming and pumped the brakes. But the Schlieffen did melt down the Pommern, so the Schlieffen got 2 kills there right at the end. Alright, cool. But he is down though. And the Napoli and GK are pushing up over here, which is a really, really strong secondary combination. The Napoli SAP secondaries and the GK's good old German secondaries with those 128s that can pin. That's my Discord too. I'm popular right now. That can pin the 32mm threshold. Although the GK is getting absolutely pummeled there by the friendly Pommerns secondaries. I really should have muted Discord before I started this. So let me go mute that real quick. Apologize, fellas. Napoli pushing up into the Pommerns secondary range, but I think this is going to be a dead Pommern here. Broadside Napoli, still spamming HE on him. Got 1 fire there. We're going to tap him there on the stern with his HE. But broke his torpedo tubes, which is pretty funny, especially coming from someone who plays a lot of German battleships. Oh, there's a destroyer out here. Napoli does finish off the Pommern. So, now it's the Napoli and Henri out here, which Henri is not exactly, sap rated. The French armor threshold is quite squishy, so when you have sap shells like the Napoli does, as you observe, right? Okay, but if you can get around to his side, he can blap him. He has Hydra up. If the Napoli gets too greedy... Oh, there's high caliber already. Napoli gets too greedy. Like he is now. Now would be the time. Yes, load the AP. There you go. There's the reload booster. And... Oh, blind fire. 1. Ooh, double Citadel. Blind fire. 2. And there we go. Nicely done. Blind firing the Napoli and the smoke. Beautiful. That's the thing about the exhaust smoke. You know that, the ship is going to be in the middle of the exhaust smoke because that's how exhaust smoke works. It gets distributed as you're moving, even at full tilt. So if you just aim for the middle-ish area of that cloud of smoke, you will hit the enemy's ship. But now we've got a destroyer out here. That's got to be it's got to be the Holland, right? Because the Johnston's dead. Yep, it's the Holland. All right, so sit rep. Really even match. 2 caps per side. They're keeping pace with the kills. It's a really close game so far. I'm assuming the replay's working, and that is the actual score. Friendly team has a little bit of a lead right here, but obviously with one ship going down, that can change. What was that, a GK? So he's got another GK here to chew on. Now keep in mind, too, that, Rex here can't go dark unless he gets out of whatever, ship. I'm sorry, out of range of whatever ship is spotting him. And I mean out of main battery range, not concealment range, because he, again, is a lighthouse build. Henri, what's his reload time now on his main guns? That's got to be stupid. 7.6 seconds. That means when he pops his reload booster, he has a 3-second reload on 240mm guns, which is amazing. Alright, so getting these shells out on the GK. Pins and non-pins seem to have about the same rate at the moment. But if you can get that nice, juicy German superstructure, that is obviously going to be the most profitable portion of the ship. He's up to 247,000 damage so far. Get a Colbert in the Minnesota and the B-cap. They're flipping that at the moment. Okay, drops his rudder into his engine into full reverse. And is there a perfect Henri size gap in that GK shells? Did eat a couple of shells to the I think that was just the torpedo protection, because I don't think he even lost more than a few hundred bits of HP for that. Another fire on that GK. He's up to 14 fires at this point, fellas, putting the British ships to shame here. And the enemy team is going to flip the B cap, so they now have 3 caps to the friendly team's 1 cap. So they are going to start to win on the points game here in a second. Oh, but the enemy team did lose a ship. They lost the Minnesota to the Adatara. And this GK is about to get melted down here by Rex. So there's that. Another fire on the GK. That is 15th fire of the game. Look at this. This is just crazy. This fire rate from the Henri. There we go. That's kill number 2 for Rex. So there is a Colbert, a Salem left alive. And they have an Adatara, a Montana, a Zhao, Colbert, and a St. Vinny left alive. Ooh, Colbert just lost half of his HP there. So, I like to say it's pretty much in the friendly team's bag, but obviously, you never know in this game. That destroyer, that Holland is still out here just trying to... Ooh, Salem on 11 HP takes out the Adatara. Look at that, fellas. Salem's got to be having one hell of a time now. He's having... a time in hell, maybe. Right now, same with his reload boost if he's got adrenaline rush. Yeah, definitely. But this Holland's just been out here this entire game trying to torpedo Rex here in his Henri. But, I mean, yeah, trying to torpedo a maneuverable ship like the Henri is not really... Ooh, picks up the Colbert there at the end. Is not really an ideal thing. I know the Holland's got the faster torpedoes and such, but unless you're very good with it, you maybe not want to dedicate your entire time in the game trying to torpedo one ship that you can't torpedo. Alright, so they are taking the C cap now, and that will flip the points. Well, it will stop the points advantage from the enemy team, although I do believe the points are in fact flipped, because why wouldn't it be, right? It's a new replay bug. So let's see what happens here. I mean, this should be... Yep. Enemy team's points are actually the friendly team's points. The friendly team's points are actually the enemy team's points because, again, replay. So where's this Holland at, do we think? He's still obviously somewhere. There isn't behind an island in Rex's range. Do we still think the Holland is trying to torpedo Rex? If I was a Holland, I would be trying to torpedo the St. Vincent because, yes, it's another fast and maneuverable ship, but it's at least a bigger target. And the Holland's torps are fast. All right, so the Holland is behind either... right in front of Rex, behind that little island right there, behind the big island to Rex's northeast. I think that's where he's up. Oh, look, there are the Holland's torps. Okay, so he moved on to another target. Yep, he is actually trying to torpedo the St. Vincent now. So excuse me, 2 torpedoes there on the St. Vincent. Bring him down to 32k. But the St. Vincent does, of course, have the super heal where he can really not care about too much damage. I mean, if you get a full salvo of Holland torpedoes, yeah, they don't do a lot per torpedo in terms of damage, but I mean, like, it's still a full set of torpedoes. All right, so the Holland is no longer behind cover. And Rex pops his Hydro just in case. Let's see. Where do we think he's at? I think he's probably island hopping. He's probably at that island around like D5 or maybe C4 trying to jump to St. Vincent. If he would be really sneaky, he'd go back around and try to cap D, but I don't think he has enough time to do that. Be surprised how many times, one ship can beat 4 or 5 if they just do something simple like, flip a single cap. Sometimes that's all it takes. Okay, so Rex is spotted yet again. Where are you at, Holland? Let Rex get his 4th kill. Oh, so he did go back up. Yeah, so he's somewhere around that, like, C4, C5 island. Let's get the St. Vincent did dodge most of those this time, but is the Zao going to dodge him? Yep, Zao did dodge him. Is the Montana going to... Oh, so according to the... I assume that's the Holland player. Yep, he's going to come out now. We'll see what happens. Blaze of Glory Death? I mean, you could take a ship with him. That'd be kind of cool. Nope, he's taking his time with appearing. Ah, there he is, right in front of Rex. And Rex has his reload boost ready to go. Let's see. Is he going to pop it? Yep. He's doing the smart thing, keeping his bow pointed toward the Holland, because the Holland probably does have torpedoes in the water, well, if they're reloaded, right, for Rex. But it looks like he does not. There is his 4th kill for 294,000 damage on a Lighthouse build Henri, a full Lighthouse build Henri. It's such a stupid and goofy and insane build, but man, does it work if you can get it to work. So Confederate, Dreadnought, Witherer, and High Caliber. 1 kill from Kraken, though, but yeah, 2,900, almost 3,000 base XP. How much damage did he get just from fires? From fires alone, he had 105,000 damage. Oh my god. But yeah. Yep. That is absolutely beautiful. It's always fun to see the Lighthouse builds because they're so ridiculous and dumb. And they are pretty insane, right? Like you're giving up the ability to hide from the enemy team when you really need to, just for absolute, DPM, right? But it's always fun to see that they are still working. Would I recommend this to a newer player? No, absolutely not. But if you got a maneuverable ship like the Henri, or one that, it's good at accelerating, decelerating, and throwing off the enemy team shots, it can definitely work, as you see here. But yes, thank you very much so, Rex, for sending that in. If you have a goofy replay with a goofy build that works, or just a fun replay or a good replay that you'd like to see featured here on the channel, you can send it into the email linked in the description down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.